Welcome to True Crime with Strategic Eyes.
Strategic back again. What's going on, guys? I got a crazy stories for you guys today. I don't even know which one to start with. All I know is things are getting crazy in New Jersey. We have 2 school employees, 1 fifth grade teacher, 1 janitor, who are doing the most. Both of these people deserve life in prison if you ask me, but unfortunately, that's not what happened. The janitor was already adjudicated, but his story is so shocking, we need to cover it, right? He got like 8 years in prison, or he's looking at 8 years in prison where he'd only have to serve 5. The teacher has just been arrested. Now, I got to think to myself, which story should we cover first? Because both of them are equally as disgusting and diabolical as they come. You know what? I'm going to talk about the teacher first, because the teacher is a good example of what happens when you relinquish your duties as a parent to somebody else. The parents in this case abdicated their duties as parents to protect and provide for their children to this teacher, and the most happened. So let me cue that up real quick. We're going to jump right into this. This one is disgusting. This lady should be ashamed of herself. And like I told you guys, we need to follow that Florida model. Let's say it again. The model of Florida, only in that when you abuse a child under the age of 13, you should get the death penalty, or rather 13 and under. That's what it is in Florida. There's a few other states too, but they escaped me. I think one is like Oklahoma or something. I'm not too sure, so don't quote me. But I know for a fact Florida has that death penalty. If you abuse a child under the age of 13, you're a goner. We need to have a national law that mimics that, because that's the only way we're going to stop these pedos from preying on our children, women and men. Women and men. And it happens a lot. It happens a whole lot more than we know, but young boys don't tell. Even when I was a young kid, there were times that older women was trying me, but I had the wherewithal to say, no, leave me alone. Absolutely not. You're wrinkled. What's going on here? Women are just as much as pedos as men. It's just not reported nearly as much as it's reported when men do it. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to be honest with you. Society also looks at it more differently when it happens with a woman being the predator than when it is a man, guys. And we need to change that. We need to protect the children, period. It doesn't matter whether you stand or you sit when you use the bathroom. Children deserve to be protected, and that law will ensure that if somebody does not want to accept the fact that they're going to be put to death, well, guess what? We're going to do you a favor and put you to death if we convict you of abusing our children. Let me bring this one over here, guys. This is crazy. Ooh, I got the wrong screen up. Let me go ahead and fix this up. Sorry. I'm over here. It's on the wrong side. All right. This, I'm looking over here. This screen needs to be on that screen right there. And this screen needs to be over here. So now everything is fixed. Let me bring you guys in. These are disgusting stories. Trigger warning for you just in case. You know, we have a lot of people who may have experienced sexual assault when they were a child. Trigger warning. I'm preparing you. It's not that bad, but who knows what triggers who. Let's keep going.
She was trusted by the school district and by parents. But tonight, a 5th grade teacher in Cape May Courthouse is accused of having a sexual relationship with one of her students. Detectives say the abuse started when the child was 11 and lasted for years, and that the two share a child. Wednesday night, I'm Shari Williams. Rick has the night.
Wait till you guys hear how this predator was able to get access to this child. Wait till you hear how this predator was able to get access to this child. And this is my problem that I have with our criminal justice system, guys. And please, by the way, hit that like button, please. I know it's a pop-up live. We got people streaming in or just coming in at any moment. Please do hit that like button. 18 likes is terrible when we got 60 people watching. Come on. Anyway, wait till you guys hear how this pedo got access to the child. And the problem we have in a society is that we don't hold everybody accountable who should be held accountable when these tragedies happen. We're going to talk about that more in a second.
Night off. The big story on Action News tonight is a South Jersey teacher behind bars accused of sexually assaulting a young boy and having a child with him. Action News reporter Leland Pender has the story from Cape May County, and detectives say the investigation is far from over.
Middle Township Police and the Cape May County Prosecutor's Office both investigating here. Prosecutors say these alleged crimes occurred between 2016 and 2020, but the arrest just coming Wednesday. They're now asking anyone that might have even more information to please come forward. Once a fifth grade teacher, now behind bars with bond revoked. 34-year-old Laura Karen was taken into custody at a home on Orbit Drive Wednesday in Cape May Courthouse. Prosecutors allege she sexually assaulted a former student.
She nasty. Look at her. Let me take these subs off. She nasty. Look at you. You're nasty. Let's keep going.
For several years.
What's that on your lip? That better be a mole. You better not have ruined that little boy's life by giving him a gift that he can't give back. Better be a mole. Let's keep going.
Had his baby.
Do you know Miss Karen? There's nothing to see here.
Look at this idiot. Your daughter, your granddaughter, your best friend's cousin, your sugar baby, whoever she is to you, is a monster. Don't defend her. Do not defend her, because this is an open shut case. And I'm going to explain to you guys why this is an open shut case in a second. Let's keep going.
There's no one that wants to speak with you.
This unidentified man pulled up to the home while we were there. A short time later, another woman appeared from the home after.
That looks like her, though. That looks just like her. Yeah,
we'd already left.
Do you want to talk to us?
No, I want you to see.
You came outside. Please, I'm willing to talk to you.
Authorities say the abuse began when the victim was 11 years old. According to the criminal complaint, a few years later, Karen gave birth to the victim's baby.
Wow.
Karen taught at Middle Township Elementary No. 2, and the victim was once her student. Prosecutors say Karen and the victim's family became friends, leading to the victim and his siblings staying overnight with Karen once or twice a week, but at some point they began living with Karen permanently.
This is crazy. You got to make this make sense for me. Now, I don't know all the details, so I'm gonna go out on a limb and I'm gonna give this family some grace, man. I'm going to give them some grace because I don't have all the details. I need to know that they're drug addicts. I need to know they're drug addicts and they're looking at their situation and they're like, you know what? The best place for our child to be is with this teacher. I don't care if you're poor. Poor people can raise kids too. That's not an excuse. Especially when you got mommy and daddy together, you should be able to scrape together 2 nickels in America, in the United States of America, to raise your child. May not be in the best part of town, but that's no excuse to give up your kids. So basically what happened here, guys, I want to lay it out for you in my own words. I don't even know if this news story, because I just pulled this one and I ain't watched this yet. So I don't know if they're going to tell the whole story of what happened. So I'm going to tell you the whole story of what happened right now. Let me put her mug behind me while I talk. We'll come back to 156. That's where we at. Come back to 156. That's it. There we go. Get that mug behind me. So the child is in her classroom. We all know that she targeted the child. I want him. I'm going to abuse that little boy. That's what she's saying in her head. She then befriends the parents. The parents allows the boy and his sister to spend the night. Of course, she has to let the sister spend the night, otherwise it's going to look suspicious, but she doesn't want the sister. She wants the boy. Eventually, the parents allow both children to go live with this lady full time. Full time. All the while, she's not treating this boy like he's an adopted son. She's treating him like it's her husband. Now, this is the crazy part as how this all explodes. The father of the boy, of course, she's not keeping the kid away from their real parents. Otherwise, that would be suspicious because she did not officially adopt them. So at any time, those parents can say, all right, no, we want our kids back, right? So they'll come and visit or whatever. So they come through and they visit, and her baby, of which they've never seen the baby father of, because remember, they're visiting their children, they're friends. So of course, if she's having a kid and it's normal, it's not this abomination that's happening in that household. Like if she's dating a grown man, of course, the parents would ask about him. Can we meet him? Because he's coming over to the house when their son is there and their daughter is there and all that good stuff. They never heard about this guy that got her pregnant. So now when a child is 4 years old, right? Her child, her biological child that she made with that baby, with their son, the father comes over, sees the child and says, hold on here. This child looks exactly like me. Why does your child look like me? And he's like, I never slept with her. He's just kind of joking around like, why does the child look like me? And then things get real serious when the man start using his brain. I don't know what's going on with him that he'd give his child away. Maybe he's on drugs or something. I hope he is, because if he's on drugs, I can forgive him. I can forgive those parents for allowing their child, or their children rather, because the boy and the girl live with her, to go live with somebody else. But if they're not on drugs, I don't understand what's wrong with these people. But let's not get off the topic. Then that alarm goes off in his head. Ding, 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 ding. The child doesn't just look like me. The child looks like my son. Then he goes on Facebook and start ranting about it, because you know how these ding-dongs are. They go to Facebook first. These man children, these women girls, these new age parents, you know, the ones that's between like 20-something and early 30s, they're idiots. Instead of handling business like adults, they go on Facebook. They have a problem in their relationship, they're on Facebook. They broke up with somebody, they're on Facebook. They had a bad date, they're on Facebook. They can't pay their bills, they're on Facebook begging for money. That's this new generation. They go to Facebook instead of going to the police first. And after ranting on Facebook and people are like, call the cops, call the cops, call the cops. Finally, they call the cops. And now this demon, this predator, is facing the music. And this is a slam dunk case. I don't even know why she has bail. A paternity test is guilt. Because she mothered that child that was fathered by another child. This is terrible. Let's keep going. Hold on. Big shout out to Dr. Cataclysm with a 5-gift membership. All of the lucky people who got that 5-gift membership, please thank Dr. Cataclysm. He is so much of a friend of the show, very generous to the show. We do appreciate it, bro. Thank you so much for supporting us, not just now, not just in the last few months, but for the years that you have been a part of the True Crime with Strategic Eyes family. And even before that, when we were just a Strategic Eyes show, thank you for being a supporter of the channel. Let's keep going.
Became friends, leading to the victim and his sibling staying overnight with Karen once or twice a week, but at some point they began living with Karen permanently. Investigators say the case came to light last month when the victim's father posted on social media saying Karen's 5-year-old child looked very similar to him and his son.
Yo, these people are betas, man. I don't care. People gonna say, Strategic, your toxic masculinity is showing again. We don't got real men no more, man. Anything under 35, not a real man. Sorry. I mean, it's rare. Some of you might be real men. I'm not trying to turn this into a man, this, that, chauvinist. Nah, it's not about that. We don't have real men anymore in this country. I hope that we'll get our stride back and we start being men again. You think you have an inkling that somebody might have been abusing your child and you taking that to Facebook, bro? You're bringing that to Facebook. You have an inkling that something untoward might have been happening to your baby, and you bring it to Facebook. Disgraceful. If you're watching this, Dad, I'm going to pray for you because I'm sorry that this happened to you, and I'm so sorry that your child is going through this. But, dude, you got to make some changes in your life, guy, because your child would not have been abused if you did not abdicate your responsibilities as a parent. There's so many parents watching this right now. So many victims watching this who had no choice. They had no choice because their abuser was dad in the house or mom in the house. Their abuser was a relative. They were walking down the street, minding their business. They were pulled into an alleyway. They had no choice into what happened to them. But you gave your kids up to somebody else. You gotta have a good excuse for that. So I know we should be focusing on this beast lady who did this to this child, but I think the parents need to answer some questions because I want to understand why you would give your 2 kids away to another person. Why would you do that? Because what you did was you delivered them to a predator. Let's keep going.
Neighbors say the arrest Wednesday appeared discreet. This woman said she saw multiple black SUVs but didn't realize they were police.
If it's true, I feel sorry for the people.
According to the prosecutor's office, the school district will have support services and counselors available for students, teachers, or families who may need that in light of this news. We did reach out to the school district for comment, but did not hear back.
Yeah, we need to do a full-blown investigation out there. They need to interview all the kids who was in her class in the last 5 years. We need to make sure that there are no additional victims because there may not have been long-term victims like being abused the way this boy was being abused, but there might have been victims that she touched inappropriately, And as little kids, we want to look at our female teachers as an extension of our parents, of our mothers. And that rubbing that she may have done on that child, that child may have interpreted as her being loving, may have been inappropriate. She's a pedo. There's no way around it. There's no way on this green earth that a woman or man should be attracted in any way by an undeveloped child. She's a pedo. There's no way around it. A real woman could never look at a baby that age, 11 years old, and say, oh, this is something attractive. The same thing goes for a man. To look at an undeveloped child and say, oh, this is attractive. She is a pedo, just like all those other guys that do the same thing are pedos as well. And pedos cannot help themselves, ladies and gentlemen. When they go into Candyland, that's what they call their victims, and the places that they inject themselves so they can have access to their victims, have access to their prey. When they're in Candyland, they can't help themselves. They can't help themselves. I bring my kids to the candy store in the mall, and all I see is them bags going, and then you go weigh it. You guys got candy stores by where you guys are at, and you weigh it, and it's like $50 for the bag, and you're like, what the hell? They got like 3 gummies in here. It's $50. That's how those pedos are. They come into the Candyland, and they can't help themselves. Oh! They're always going to leave a trail of victims. That is why we have to adhere to the only known solution. The only known solution that can adequately deal with people who suffer from that mental illness. Because it is a mental illness. It's a mental illness that causes pain on everybody that encounters that person with that mental illness. I think we should have empathy for these pedos. We should. But we should also understand that there's only one way of dealing with them, of helping them. And that is to adopt the Florida way of dealing with it, that if you abuse a child 13 and under, we're going to put you to death. That is the only way to help these unfortunate people who cannot deal with their mental illness without hurting other people. If you've got that mental illness and you're getting help and you're not touching anybody, you're not hurting anybody, you're living your life dealing with that problem in a positive way, all credit to you. God bless you. Thank you for being a strong person that's willing to not hurt another person. But if you hurt a child, we need to deal with you the Florida way. Anyway, let's go to the next video. Listen to this barbarity, what this guy did. And this guy should definitely be getting life in prison, but instead he got a paltry 8 years because this is New Jersey. Let's keep going.
A school janitor admits to doing disgusting things with food that children were going to eat. And that's not all Giovanni Impellizzeri has admitted to. I'll detail the disturbing case out of New Jersey. Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. I'm just going to tell you right now, after hearing this, you are probably never going to let your child...
Hold on. Did this guy have eyeliner on? I'm not shaming people who like eyeliner, but it looked like this guy got eyeliner on. Yeah, this guy's wearing eyeliner. No disrespect. I saw it in my peripheral, and I'm like, did I see that? If somebody wants to put eyeliner on, I'm not judging anybody. I'm not making any kind of crude statements about that stuff. I'm not about that life. I'm a tolerant person. I just saw it in my peripheral. Was like, did I see that? And I did. But anyway, let's keep going. And guys, please do hit that like button. Hit that like button.
To eat. And that's not all Giovanni Impellizzeri has admitted to. I'll detail the disturbing case out of New Jersey. Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. I'm just going to tell you right now, after hearing this, you are probably never going to let your child, if you have one, eat school lunch again. After reading all of the court documents, I'm really glad that I pack my son's lunch every day. Giovanni Impellizzeri. He's in big trouble in Cumberland County, New Jersey. He was a janitor at Elizabeth F. Moore Elementary School in 2023 when school officials started receiving anonymous tips that Impellizzeri was posting things on Telegram, specifically videos that were disturbing to say the very least. At the time, a court document stated, the reporting party stated that while on Telegram group thread, he observed Giovanni Impellizzeri texting and posting videos of himself at what appeared to be a school setting, performing sexual acts with items from the school, as well as doing things that would endanger the well-being of the students at the school. Can you believe that? The school janitor, performing sex acts with items from the school at the school. And it gets worse. New Jersey State Police said that Giovanni Impellizzeri was taking utensils and other items from the school and wiping his private parts with those items and then putting them back. And again, it gets worse. The complaint goes on to say, Giovanni Impellizzeri was seen masturbating and urinating on pillows and kitchen bowls. Videos showed Giovanni Impellizzeri spraying bleach into a container of cucumbers that was later served to children at the school with the intention of harming the students. This is beyond disturbing. And police said there were videos that showed Impellizzeri wiping his private parts, all of them, with several pieces of bread and then putting them back in the container.
That's
and that
disgusting.
bread would later be served to
You guys see this? You hear this crap? This is terrible. Like, this guy's got nasty fetishes that probably exposed hundreds of children to God knows what. Let's keep going.
children at the school. This was in October of 2023. The prosecutor charged Giovanni Impellizzeri with a number of crimes, including aggravated assault, tampering with a food product, endangering the welfare of children, and official misconduct as a public servant. Now, this is a school janitor.
You see all the crap that this guy should be charged as a terrorist. I'm sorry. I know the terrorism charge is kind of narrow. Like, you got to inflict, violence to kind of change political views or whatever, but and inflict fear. But I mean, geez, like, this is mass poisoning, mass biological warfare that this guy is engaging with. Like, this guy, he also poured bleach. I don't know. I was kind of fielding text messages from Aki, so I was kind of listening, but I didn't hear everything. But I remember from reading up on this story that he actually like poured bleach all over cucumbers or something like that, and this food was served to the children. That's poisoning. He tried to poison these kids. It doesn't matter if any of them got sick or not. He tried to poison these kids. It's disgusting. Like, how do you only get 8 years? Like, this guy just wants to go to prison for life. So help him. Send him to prison for life. Like, this is crazy.
He's supposed to be cleaning the school, mopping floors, cleaning bathrooms, and likely cleaning the kitchen and school cafeteria. Instead, the prosecutor said Impellizzeri was pouring bleach on cucumbers and doing disgusting things with bread. These are things
There you go. Pouring bleach on cucumbers and wiping his ass with bread. Come on, man. This is disgusting. This is horrible. And then the kids eat that. How many kids then ate that stuff? They literally were served the stuff that he was doing this nasty stuff to. This is crazy. Oh, man, let's keep going.
that kids would eat. In addition to the charges I already mentioned, the prosecutor said police found child pornography on Impellizzeri's phone. He wasn't accused of manufacturing it, but he was charged with possessing and distributing it.
So he's possessing and he's distributing, and they gave him 8 years, and he'll be out in 5. And people wonder why these folks do the things that they're doing. Because they know, you know what, this is my ultimate fantasy. I'm going to get it done. And if I get caught, I'm coming out in like 2 seconds. He's coming out in 2 seconds. There's no incentive to do the right thing with these current laws that we have. How can you be so lenient when it comes to the abuse of children? Helpless human beings. Absolutely helpless human beings. Unbelievable. Let's keep going.
It's been well over a year since Impellizzeri was charged, and now he has pleaded guilty to the official misconduct as a public servant charge and possessing child sex abuse materials. The total sentence the prosecutor will recommend will be 8 years, but Impellizzeri will be eligible for parole after serving 5, and the prosecutor will ask that he be under parole supervision for the rest of his life. Giovanni Impellizzeri had admitted to some really disgusting things. He's
like parole could stop you from wiping your booty with somebody's food or putting bread on your pee-pee. How's a parole officer going to know this is happening? Like, they say, oh, you know what? You can't use cell phones. You can't use the internet. Well, that Ghost guy had a whole Reddit forum with 12,000 members for Madeline Soto. Nothing stopped him from being able to go on the internet and trick people, pretend like he was a female and all that extra stuff. Come on, man. These systems don't work. They literally don't work. That's why we have to help these people by removing them from society. removing them from society because they clearly don't want to be with the rest of us. They don't want to play by the rules. They want to live according to our morality, our collective morality. They don't want to take part in the social contract that they signed when they exited their mother's womb, whether they wanted to or not. Because if you don't like the social contract, leave. Go to a different country. You could go to the Middle East, some parts of it, where you could marry an 8-year-old if you want. You want to live that life? Go there. Here in America, in the US of A, we don't tolerate the abuse of our children. We don't tolerate it. And I'm not saying it's right over there either. It's terrible. But what are we supposed to do? That's their cultures. It's terrible. Hopefully one day they'll evolve and do better. The bottom line is these folks do not deserve to be in our society. We have to remove them because they're evil. Let's keep going.
Perfect person to search on truthfinder.com to see if anything comes up. Truthfinder, of course, is one of the largest public records search services out there. I searched for Giovanni, and his charges in New Jersey for this incident at the school showed up immediately in the criminal and traffic search results, and they'll be there from now on. Truthfinder is really great because it will show you where a person...
All right, let me get that out of there because that's their commercial. Now, real quick, we're about to end this soon because I don't want to use too much of their video. Go to Crime Fix to watch the whole thing. If your comment gets moderated, you will know when it's moderated by our team. It seems as though, and I think the reason why YouTube is moderating extra is because I had to change the title. And the title I originally had did not pass the YouTube censor muster. So I think because of that, this live stream has the attention of the YouTube automatic moderator. So if you're getting moderated, it's not us unless you say something ridiculous. You're going to see it's going to say you're moderated by, a moderator. You're going to moderated it by the host. If it's not saying that, then that means that YouTube is the one that's moderating you. And if you get moderated by Nightbot, aka Sassybot is going to tell you after it moderates you like, yo, we put you on timeout because you've been a bad boy. He's going to say something sassy, okay? So just rephrase what you guys are saying so that YouTube does not come for you. They're probably going to end up demonetizing this live since it's caught their attention, But what else am I supposed to say? I said New Jersey school officials caught abusing children. That's what I said. And that was enough to bring the wrath of YouTube down on this live because I said children. So that's why I changed it to caught doing the worst to kiddos. This is not a free speech zone. This is horrible. You can't even have adult conversations. The people who are buying Charmin are adults. Like, we can't, it's not advertiser friendly. Well, the people who are watching these advertisements that you're selling, Google, are adults. When I look at my metrics, the average age of my viewer is between 35 and 80 years old. I have no children watching. When I look at the graph, it has 0 for people who are like 18 to 25. 0. And 25 to 35 is like 2%, 3%. 90% of my viewership is 35 to 80. So what are we moderating, YouTube? These are grown adults here. Come on, stop babying us. Anyway, hit that like button, guys, please. Hit that like button, support the channel.
Sex acts with food that was being served to kids at a school, at an elementary school. I mean, not only did he plead guilty to doing this, but to videotaping it and posting it on Telegram. That's where they got a lot of this evidence. So, my God, just the thought as a mom of my kid going to school and maybe getting school lunch when somebody had rubbed bread on their private parts and then put it back in the bag.
I'm sorry. Looking at this guy's face is making me laugh, man. I don't know. I'm sorry. Big shout out to Sean. To Shawnee, a.k.a. Sean Drew, but we're always going to know you as Shawnee. Shawnee been with us for quite a long time out of the UK, man. Hope you're doing well. Hope your health is good and everything. It's great to see you, buddy. Let's keep going.
I just can't even imagine.
Yeah, it's disgusting in a way that's hard to even wrap your mind around that somebody would do this. But unfortunately, there's some pretty sick folks out there.
What motivates this type of thing? I mean, he's accused of, he's pleaded guilty to it now. He's admitted to doing it. It was on video. What motivates somebody to do something like this? Obviously, there's something not right up here. And then he also, they said, sprayed bleach into a container of cucumbers that the children were going to eat.
I'm laughing not because of what she's saying. I'm laughing because the comment section is hilarious about this guy's eyeliner. But I didn't say it. Y'all saying it. I ain't got nothing to do with that. Let's keep going.
So
for people come for me, oh my God, strategic, you making fun of that. No, I didn't say anything. It was the comment section.
there's really two things. One is anger. So acts like this, even though there is a sexual component clearly for him, anger is what motivates it. It's about control. It's about the idea of inflicting control on others, even whether they ever find out about it or not. Then the other part of it.
Why do they keep showing this B-roll of some random dude cleaning the whole way? Yo, the long crime, what is this guy? The crime fix editor is hilarious. Why he keeps showing this has nothing to do with the case. This is not the guy who was arrested.
Is this, we call it a paraphilia. So it's a sexual excitement about something that's truly non-sexual. So it's a combination of anger and paraphilia together. That can be a really dangerous combination, clearly.
What kind of paraphilia? I mean, obviously, you're a forensic psychologist and you have not examined him.
Right.
So, I don't want you to diagnose him per se, but what kind of paraphilia are we talking about here, right? What could it be?
Well, that's a good question. Probably the idea of contaminating other people, or the idea of having that type of control of other people is sexually exciting for him. We see this in sexual assault as well. It's not about sex, it's about control. So truly, even though he associates sexual feelings with this, it's really about control.
All right, so I looked that up because I was like, paraphilia, what is she trying to say? Pedo, but she's saying it wrong. But no, she's right. So paraphilia is a recurring or intense sexual interest in atypical objects, people, places, or situations. It can also be defined as a sexual interest in anything other than a consenting human partner. Very interesting. Let's keep going.
And these kids could have been really sickened by what he did. I mean, depending upon, the concentration of the bleach, depending on the cleanliness of his body parts, I guess. I mean, my mind goes wild thinking about what these kids could have happened. And this is just what we know about. This is what was on video. We don't know if there were other things that went on.
So it's sadistic. So in other words, sadism is enjoying the pain and suffering of others. And so this may be somebody who literally enjoys that. Most of us are shocked and revolted when we see somebody else in pain. We want to help heal that pain. For somebody like this, the connection of wanting to help when they see someone in pain, they may not be wired correctly. So they may feel excited, happy, sexual. There could be all sorts of feelings that come when they see somebody suffering. So sadism truly is one of those types of psychological issues that it's very, very difficult to change. And it's one that universally is not good. I mean, I work with a lot of couples as well.
All right, guys, you guys got to help me out with those like buttons, man. Hit that like button. Please support the channel. Support the channel. Hit the like button.
And when I talk to them, if somebody's sadistic, then that's a really, really bad indicator for relationships.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
I want to go back a little bit. I didn't digest that because I'm trying to read the comment section at the same time. See if there's anything I want to talk about there. You guys are hilarious. I'm laughing. I'm getting text messages like, stop laughing so much. Like, okay, the comment section is cracking jokes. We're part of a community. We're going to laugh. Like, come on, man. Let me do my show. Everybody's a critic. Come on. What's wrong with you? Anyway, let's go back. I want to hear what he says about like relationships and stuff like that.
One that universally is not good. I mean, I work with a lot of couples as well. And when I talk to them, if somebody's sadistic, then that's a really, really bad indicator for relationships.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Because as you said,
I got to go back a little bit more. I'm sorry. I really want to get what he has to say about relationships. Maybe it's nothing probative, but I kind of heard it a little bit while I was a little distracted. And I just want to know what he says. Let's see.
I mean, my mind goes wild thinking about what these kids could have happened. And this is just what we know about. This is what was on video. We don't know if there were other things that went on.
So it's sadistic. So in other words, sadism is enjoying the pain and suffering of others. And so this may be somebody who literally enjoys that. Most of us are shocked and revolted when we see somebody else in pain. We want to help heal that pain. For somebody like this, the connection of wanting to help when they see someone in pain, they may not be wired correctly. So they may feel excited, happy, sexual. There could be all sorts of feelings that come when they see somebody suffering. So sadism truly is one of those types of psychological issues that it's very, very difficult to change. And it's one that universally is not good. I mean, I work with a lot of couples as well. Okay. And when I talk to them, if somebody's sadistic, then that's a really, really bad indicator for relationships.
Right, but why do people get with folks like that? Like, I don't get it. Like, if you're with somebody and they're sadistic and they like to see you cry and see you in pain, why do people get so caught up? This is something I never understood. I understand it exists, especially in domestic violence. And that's a different animal. And, I don't even think I'm even talking about domestic violence situations. But maybe it's just the way that my brain is programmed as a guy. I don't understand why somebody would stay with somebody who's causing them so much pain. And it gets to the point where it's like more pain than happiness, right? Where the happiness is a distant memory, right? And just holding on to something that happened a decade ago. And like every day, it's like this person living to torture you. Very interesting in human psychology. I'm not judging people who are in that situation. I just find it interesting and I want to understand it. And I think in another life, I'd have loved to have been like a psychologist or something like that, I guess, to really understand how the mind works, how people can get wrapped up in that cycle and unable to break out of it. It's real. It's a real thing. It's not something to blame people or shame them for, but it's something that without the training and the education, I just can't really wrap my head around and understand, right? How we kind of like override that fight and fright kind of thing, however you say it, to protect yourself. But anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. You guys are great. We had a great show so far. Please hit that like button, support the channel. Go ahead and get that off and just put it on me. There's a few shows I want to do. We're working on another show, an Interested Maddie show that I think is like going to be really, really good. Still fleshing out. Let me see something here. Maybe we're not done yet. Give me 1 second. Let me make a phone call. I'm gonna call Aki so we could talk, because she wants me to address something, but I don't really know what it is. So I'm gonna put this guy back on, and I'm gonna call Aki real quick, and then I'm gonna figure out what she's saying, and then if maybe we're gonna address it. We'll see what happens.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Because as you said, they enjoy inflicting pain upon people. This investigation starts with the food, the food and him rubbing the food on his private parts and putting it back into the school cafeteria where kids are going to, this food's going to be served to kids, and then spraying the bleach on the cucumbers and all of this stuff. And then as the investigation unfolds, they find out that he is in possession of and has distributed child pornography. So there's another aspect of this involving children. So we have this added layer to it. So what does that tell you? The whole thing, this whole thing involves children.
It's an added layer, but not a surprising one. When somebody wants to harm someone who's vulnerable, like children or someone who's disabled or those types of things, we're talking about somebody who has no capacity for empathy. The desire to harm someone who is vulnerable is so
I don't know, man. I'm kind of like in agreements with Foxy Amazon, not just because I like her, but I think she's smart about this stuff. She's like a therapist or something like that too. She said he's not a sadist. He's getting off on doing things no one knows about. Like, so it's like sadists typically like to see, like, and once again, I'm not a psychologist anyway. This guy is way more qualified than me. You guys can't see him. I didn't transition it over. Let me do that. This guy is way more qualified than me. All right. But from what I know anecdotally about these guys, they kind of like to see the outcome of their wares, like they want to see the person in pain. They want to see, the results of their actions. This guy is just doing stuff in secret. It's like he's getting off just knowing he did it, not necessarily that it has actually caused anybody pain, because it didn't. So he did all that stuff with the food, and then the kids ate the food and they were fine. They didn't suffer, as at least what we know of, any adverse reactions, Whereas a sadist wants to see everybody keeling over like, oh, I'm sick or whatever. He wants to see that. That's how he gets off. But I could be wrong. This guy is way more qualified to make that determination. And some of you guys are way more qualified inside of the chat. Now, I spoke to Aki, and I do want to address something. I think it's important to address it because I'm here to give you guys a law enforcement perspective on cases that interest me and cases that I have information on. The last thing I want to do is disappoint you guys, but I also want you guys to be realistic about who I am and what I can actually do. So I've been getting a few people hitting me up, and we even saw it inside the chat where people are like, Strategic, can you cover Sebastian Rogers and use your investigative skills to kind of figure out what's going on? It's one thing if you ask for me to cover a story. Nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. If you guys don't know, I didn't really know much about Sebastian Rogers, but he's an autistic kid. I think he's 16 years old, who's been missing, and there's like no leads. And it's a horrible story that this kid is just up and gone. Like nobody knows where he's at. There's no suspects that I know of or anything like that. I got to do further research. There's nothing wrong with people saying, hey, listen, Strategic, can you cover this? Nothing wrong with that. But when people are expecting me in New York to be able to do a parallel investigation and kind of figure out what's going, well, come on, let's be realistic, people. That's not possible. I don't live in those areas. I don't have any resources to go out there. I have a day job. I have a responsibility to the people I'm getting paid to do investigations for. It's not like I'm a retired guy without a family that I could just do, like some JLR type thing and just travel all over the country at any time, showing up on the doorstep. Big shout out to JLR who does that. Like, that's amazing. I'm watching him while he's doing it. The man got, like he says, his motto is boots on the ground. You know what I mean? Not everybody can do that. Not everybody can do that. So I'm addressing it. I could just ignore it, but I'm addressing it because I don't want people to feel disappointed. Oh, Strategic is not answering me, or Strategic is not doing this or do it. Like, be realistic. We're all adults here. I just said that my demographic is primarily 35 to 80. That means that we're all grown. There's no way that Strategic Eyes can go and investigate somebody's case. I can't even investigate the Madeline Soto case, and I literally have a vested interest in this little girl getting justice. She's in my heart. Madeline Soto's in my heart. Naziah Harris is in my heart. Those two girls are in my heart, and I can't go to Detroit and do some investigations on. I can't even afford FOIA requests. Like that crazy video that allegedly speculating got. I don't speak to the lady. I don't know her. I guarantee you she probably paid a couple $100s for that. Plunder came on a couple weeks back and said that the next batch of FOIA requests that they were looking to get, that the sheriff's department was trying to charge them $10,000. I don't even got money to go get FOIA requests for these cases that I'm interested in. So I'm sorry to disappoint you, but you can't expect me to investigate cases. What I do is I react to cases that are already in the media, and that has information that we can report. Information that we can report. So Naziah Harris case, it's not widely reported, but there's a ton of information from citizen journalists who live in Detroit who are doing the groundwork, and then they're posting that information on the internet. So now we're able to take that information and bring it to a wider audience and give awareness and give a voice to that voiceless little girl. Madeline Soto, same thing. It goes into the media in waves. It's a popular story, but sometimes it falls out of the media. Sometimes it comes back raging back. But what keeps it going is that you have all these amazing YouTubers who are putting up hard-earned dollars to get FOIA requests and release additional information. And what are we doing here? We're taking the information that they're getting and we're reacting to it, and we're trying to dig deeper into that information. Sebastian Rogers is missing. There are 0 leads. There's no FOIA requests. There's no witnesses that are coming forward. There's nobody going on Reddit and talking about it and giving information that the police aren't reporting yet. There's nothing. 0. So the only thing I could do for Sebastian is say his name. Say, hey, on this date and time, and I'll do that. I'll go get that information, and I'll come back, and I'll make sure I say on this date and time, This little boy went missing. This is his picture. If anybody sees him, please do contact the authorities as listed on this paperwork to give those leads to the police. That's the best that I could do. But for somebody to say, hey, go use your investigative skills to go figure out what Sebastian is, come on, man. Let's be reasonable here. Let's live in reality. It's not possible. It's not going to happen. All right? That's all I got to say about that. Somebody said Sebastian went missing the same day as Matt. Yeah, but, and guess what? Naziah Harris was killed before, was impregnated and killed before Maddie too. I mean, if somebody gives me information, my point is not that I don't want to cover Sebastian. My point is, if you have information, give it to me. But don't tell me to go and investigate it and figure out what happened to Sebastian, because I can't do it. That's all I'm saying. If somebody has information on Sebastian, put it in an email. I will gladly cover it, because Sebastian is important too. He's important too. But if there's no information for me to report on, there's nothing I could do about it. And it doesn't matter that he went missing the same day as Madeline Soto. Madeline Soto is not like the beacon of missing children. Madeline Soto is one unfortunate incident out of many. We need to love all these children. I'm not saying this person is saying, I'm just saying that in general. We need to love all these children. We need to care about all these children. And that's what I'm trying to do. So if somebody has information on Sebastian, please do send it to me via email, and I will 100% cover it if it's probative. But I can't go out there and investigate this crime. I don't have the resources. I don't have the money. I don't have the time to go out and investigate. I have to take time off of work. I just can't. And I'm saying this because I don't want to disappoint you. That's all. That's the only reason why we're having this conversation. So anyway, I'm done with that. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for your time. Anybody have any information on any kids that are, these cases where these kids are being abused or missing, send them to me, man. Send them to me. Even if I don't cover it, I'll put it on my community tab. If you send me a missing flyer, please do. Let's use that community tab to bring awareness. All right, let's use that. If you have missing children wherever in the country, obviously in the world, there's nothing we could do about that. We'll post it if you send it to us too. Screw it. Hey, this kid is missing in Belgrade. I'll go ahead and post that, man. I will not ignore it. I will post it. But if you have information, you want me to cover it, send me the email. But please do be realistic about what I can and cannot do. And I'm talking to you guys like this because you're adults and I respect you. And I respect your intelligence, and I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to fluff things. I'm going to be real with you, and I'm going to be straightforward with you. Anyway, guys, please like and subscribe. Join the channel. You guys are amazing. Remember, we got a membership and Patreon. We're dropping stuff on there like crazy. Right now, we have a crazy live. I went ham-hop crazy. I'm not going to lie to you. The entire live is available for white shielding up at the moment. We do have pieces that we cut out that we made available for other tiers of the membership. Moving forward, different levels are going to get different things. I have to do that because some people are paying a whole lot more than others, and people are emailing me like, hey, Strategic, it's not fair. I'm supporting you on this level, and, I'm not getting anything exclusive. So you're right. I have heard. You have spoken, and I've heard. So now we're going to have some tiered stuff going on the membership. Everybody's going to get value, but we're going to have some tiered action going on. So make sure that you keep that in mind. And lastly, the Patreon is where it's at. It's a great deal. It's $5. And for $5, you get a lot of content, and you get a lot of uncensored strategic eyes. And if that's what you're looking for, get on that Patreon. Get on that Patreon if you want to support the Strategic Eyes Show, because the Patreon is where it's at. I appreciate you guys immensely. I'll see you guys on the next one. Strategic is out of here. Peace.